Among the most beautiful days and nights we have had all summer long, in a summer filled with such nights. And that's a scene at Great American Ballpark. Cubbies and the Redlegs in game 3 of 4. They have split the front 2 games of this series. And hi again, everybody, alongside Chris Welsh and Jim Day. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds Baseball. Pitching oftentimes the name of the game. It certainly was here for Trevor Bauer and the Reds last night. And the man trying to follow that act here tonight is Sonny Gray.
Well, he certainly is capable. If you go back recently for Gray and see what he's done for the Reds, say back the last 7 games, he has been outstanding. You know, early in the year, he got off to kind of a rough start. The Reds didn't get him a lot of runs. He had some bad pitches here and there, had some high pitch count games, but all of a sudden it seems like he has reached his groove at breaking pitch, or breaking pitches, I should say. Combination of slider, curveball have been outstanding. Expect to see a lot of those this evening.
Coming off a dynamite outing against Chicago, his last start. Got to find out a way to slow this guy down.
Nicholas Castellanos has been outstanding too. I mean, he's had 3 home runs in his ballpark, one to left, one to center, one to right. Big high leg kick. The Reds may be going to figure him out a little bit. He's going to have to deal with a very tough breaking ball tonight. Didn't have a great job after that fastball home run off of Bauer last night. He's going to see a lot of Bauer-type curveballs out of Sonny Gray. It ought to be interesting, that matchup. I don't think Castellanos, this is a good matchup for him. I think it favors Gray big time.
Also a very good pitcher on the mound tonight for the Chicago Cubs. He's been around since he came over from the Rangers, and quietly among the league's very best in Kyle Hendricks.
Well, he's been in the league for 6 years, Kyle Hendricks has. He's never had a losing season. And he's a guy that has done this and gives hope to everybody who throws, well, maybe below the hitting speed or below the radar, or at least below major league average, because he's got one of the slowest fastballs in all of the major leagues, but hitters still can't figure him out. He gets hitters to chase his high fastball. He's got an outstanding changeup, and he uses it almost as much as Luis Castillo. This guy knows how to pitch, and the Reds will have their hands full if he's gone on his game tonight.
This guy's been on his game pretty much all year long.
Well, he has. I mean, his swing is so beautiful. He jumped on a first pitch curveball last night and launched it. He's the guy that, you know, he's meant to be a middle of the order hitter. I remember when the Reds first got him from Detroit, that's what they thought he was going to be. He's evolved into that guy.
Suarez in the lineup, playing third base here tonight. Same lineup, in fact, we saw from the Reds in the winning effort here last night. A big part of the Reds offense right now, the Punisher. The Punisher. And JD, Jim Day, standing by with more on Aquino.
Cincinnati Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio is brought to you by Chevy. Check out their award-winning lineup only at your Tri-State Chevy dealer. By Cincinnati Children's Hospital, changing the outcome together. By Furniture Fair, for style and flair, choose Furniture Fair. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time.
Hello there. Hope you're having a great night from Local 12, WKRC Television. I'm meteorologist Paul Poteet. It's going to be another beautiful evening at the ballpark. As far as the weather goes, 81 for the first pitch. Grand Slam. Sunshine fades into a mostly clear night. By the final out, we'll still be into the low 70s. No chance of rain tonight. Enjoy the game.
In a very short amount of time, Aristides Aquino has really taken this Reds fan base by storm. Now we'll see how long it lasts. It's very tough as a rookie in Major League Baseball, but what a start to his career. New stance, and they've been working on him to hit it up the middle. That line drive pro device has really been paying off for Aquino, as we talked about yesterday, and Chris Welsh will talk about in an upcoming Tech Talk. And he's riding a 6-game hitting streak. They call him the Punisher, and he's been punishing the baseball. Home run in his last 3 games, 4 home runs overall. During this streak, .556 average, 4 home runs, and 10 RBIs in just 9 games. And by the way, plays a mean defense and has one of the best arms in baseball already. All right, just bringing the energy. Reds teams with 2 different rookies have a streak of 3 straight games with a home run. Add 2019 to the list, Josh Van Meter, and now Aquino. Back in 08, Jay Bruce and Joey Votto. And 1983, Gary Redus and Nick Esaski, or IGS, bringing the energy. Coming up, Aquino and the Reds hope to take out the Cubs in Game 3 of a 4-game set Saturday Night Live.
Sonny Gray making his way to the Great American Ballpark mound. Set to make his 23rd start in a Cincinnati Reds uniform here tonight and give his team a 2-1 advantage in this series before Castillo gets a ball in the series finale tomorrow. Let's take a look at Joe Madden's starting lineup presented by Furniture Fair for Game 3. It'll be Almora Jr. in center. Castellanos is in right field. Bryant at third. Anthony Rizzo at first. Baez a shortstop. Jonathan Lucroy his second start since coming over 4 days ago. Schwarber in left field. Bodie will start it at second base for Ian Happ tonight. And Kyle Hendricks is on the mound. Sonny Gray coming off a dazzling performance. His most recent start. That's when the Reds were down in Atlanta. They blew the save behind him, but the Reds won that game in 10 innings. He went 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, and nary a run.
You know, after a very rough start, Sonny Gray has really settled down. He's evened his record out now at 6 apiece, 6 up and 6 down. The earned run average is very good. You know, by some measurements, those peripheral numbers that he has, which is not all that many walks and a lot of strikeouts, he's had as good or better a year than Luis Castillo, the pitcher we'll see tomorrow night. So the Reds are finishing this series with a bang with their top 2 guys in the rotation, and hopefully Sonny Gray will be up for his end of it tonight.
All right, here we go. Almora Jr., the center fielder, to lead things off. First pitch swinging, a high fly ball, playable in center field. And that will be 1 pitch, 1 out. We're underway. We'll look at the Reds on defense presented by Ford. Senzel flanked by Winker and Aquino. Along the infield again, Peraza, the shortstop, and again Van Meter gets a nod at second base, and Barnhart behind the plate. Waiting on Castellanos to get in the box, and here we go. Breaking ball down and away. Before the trade, Castellanos had 2 hits and 24 at-bats with the Tigers. And now all of a sudden a hit in each of the 9 games he has played for Chicago, including the 4 home runs and 6 doubles. He leads the major leagues in doubles, a total of 43 of them. And he's hit 3 home runs in this series. You said it, left, center, and right. That was way back here last night. And to left center field out by the Starfire bullpen, and a swing and a miss to get ahead. 1 ball and 2 strikes for Sonny Gray.
I've not seen Castellanos, Tom, play an awful lot. You know, bits and pieces, spurts here and there, but there's a lot going on in that swing of his. I can see how he can get hot and really hot and hit the ball all over the ballpark and hit it hard. But look at all the movement that he has. Got a big high leg kick. I mean, that has to be right on time to be on schedule with that swing. And, you know, that is what really Sonny Gray and I think Tucker Barnhart are going to try to do with him tonight. Same thing Trevor Bauer did after he gave up that 3-1 fastball for a home run. Got him a steady diet of breaking balls, changed speeds on him, and got him out of his comfort zone.
Got him to chase that breaking ball down and away. 2 up, 2 down.
You know, when you have that much movement going on, you cheat a little bit to catch up to your fastball. And what that means is you start your swing early. And if you're reading it as fastball and it turns out to be a curve, that's the kind of swing that you end up with. Couldn't hit it with a Bodor, and that was a perfect setup job there by Sonny Gray.
Now Gray turns his attention to the Chicago third baseman, Chris Bryant. Ball 1. Bryant and Rizzo have just worn out the Reds again this year. The numbers are mind-boggling. Bryant is hitting .385 with 3 home runs, 5 doubles, has been walked 12 times. Rizzo's hitting .410 with 6 doubles, a home run, and 4 walks. And Rizzo waits on deck. There's that sharp breaking ball again, and once more it's Gray getting ahead of a Chicago batter at a ball and 2 strikes.
Bryant and Rizzo were right in the middle of things last night. When the Cubs tried to get something going. Their spots in the order found themselves on base 3 consecutive at-bats in a row. Or at least plate appearances in the 4th, the 6th, and the 8th. Ryan got on base, and so did Rizzo.
Two and two on Bryant. And that breaking ball stayed up, really never broke. And a full count to the Cubs' third baseman. Just underway, and glad to have you with us on this beautiful Saturday night. Big crowd on hand tonight. One more game to go tomorrow. 3-game road trip for the Reds, and then they're right back for another big 4-game weekend series. Next time around, it'll be the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's a 3-2. Popped up. Short right field. And a 1-2-3 opening inning for Sonny Gray. All right, Reds coming to bat, bottom half of the first inning. Let's take a look at their starting lineup under manager David Bell. Presented by Furniture Fair. Winker, DeWink out in left field. Votto is at first base and Suarez at third. Van Meter, the cleanup hitter. Aquino in right, Senzel in center, Barnhart, Peraza, Gray. Against one of the very best in the National League for a long time now, and that's Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah, you wonder how he does it, but he does it really with control, changing speeds, taking advantage of the hitter's weaknesses. You know, Kyle Hendricks is a great example of a pitcher giving a hitter the best opportunity for that hitter to get himself out. He's had 21 starts, one of those a complete game, an even record at 8 up and 8 down. Did not factor into a decision his last time out. That was against the Athletics on Monday. Gave up 2 earned runs and on one hit over 6 1/3 innings.
Cubs wound up winning that game on Monday night. Strike one on Winker. I mean, Hendricks comes in on quite a roll. He's allowed 2 or fewer runs in 7 consecutive starts going back to July the 2nd. The ERA at 2.3, where he struck out almost a batter per inning while walking only 11. And opponents hitting 191 against Hendricks, and quickly 0-2 on Winker.
And in one of those 7 starts was that game that he had against the Reds. Pitched a very good ball game.
Winker fouls it off and out of play. You know, you look at the home numbers, you look at the road numbers, and really it's a couple of starts that have really inflated that road ERA. He gave up 7 runs in a game at Arizona back in April. He allowed 5 runs in 4 innings at Dodger Stadium. But here lately on the road, you go back to June the 1st when he really started to get on this roll. He had back-to-back starts where he only went 3 innings and 4 innings, allowed just 2 runs, but they had to get him out of there because there was a rain delay in one, and he had just come off the injured list to start prior to that. His last 2 road games, he's gone 12 innings and not allowed a single run. Looped into shallow right field, and it's run down by Castellanos. Look at the Cubs on defense, presented by Ford. No Jason Hayward tonight. Almora flanked by Schwarber and Castellanos. Bodie starting at second base tonight. And Lucroy's second start since jumping on board with these Cubbies 3 days ago. Made his Cub debut here on Thursday night at 3 hits and knocked in 2 runs. Now Votto. High fly ball into deep center field. Almora to the wall, and it's in and out of the glove. And Votto will coast in with a double. That's a play we're so used to seeing Almora make because he is an outstanding defender.
Well, the ball really took off on Almora. I don't know if he saw it well coming off the bat or just misjudged how well Votto hit it. but he kind of cruised after it at first, and then he put the jets on. And normally when Almora puts his glove on the ball, he's going to catch it. So the Reds get an early base runner in scoring position off that double to center field.
So Votto leads all National Leaguers, tied anyway, for the most doubles in the first inning this year. He has 23 of them on the year, and 9 of the 23 have come in the first inning. So now Suarez batting in that 3-hole once more and looks at ball 1. Suarez, a home run here last night. He had a double, was on base a couple of times, scored a couple of runs the first game of the series. 31 bombs, 73 knocked in, both team highs. This was a long one here last night.
Now the first pitch breaking ball that just kind of hung up and in. That's a home run derby location right there.
Landed up above that Kroger strikeouts, the red banner. Is a fellow you may remember that was walking up those stairs. Got a handle the ball, knocked it straight down into that runway, and then he went down the stairs and got the ball. Broken bat sounded like. And Almora there to get it. Votto remains at second, and there are 2 down in the first inning. That'll give Van Meter a chance. Closing in on 100 at bats for this season is a rookie second baseman. That almost looked like it was a cross-up. Lucroy was sitting on that outside corner and then had to reach across his body. Yeah, it was a cross-up, looked like. And could have been called a strike.
It should have been called a strike. Well, the one thing that Hendricks does, as well as any pitcher in baseball, is that when he has runners in scoring position, he just fills up the strike zone. One strike after another. Expect to see something that you can hit.
Big cut and a miss there from Van Meter.
The example of that is this. I'll give you the numbers to back that up. He has a strike rate of 71% when he's got runners in scoring position this year. The league average is 64%. But for Hendricks, that's the 3rd best in all of Major League Baseball among starting pitchers.
High fly ball into left center field, giving a long run, and up against the wall it goes. They had him shaded the other way, and Van Meter with a run-scoring double to put the Reds on the board in the opening inning.
Boy, what a special feeling it must be for Josh Van Meter right now. He's got family and friends in the stands coming down from Fort Wayne, Indiana. All of them Cubs fans, but not tonight. Let me tell you something. Ball is jumping tonight in this ballpark. If you get it in the air, hold your breath, because it's got a chance.
Man, it looked like a routine fly ball
Sure
coming
did.
off the bat, and it just kept going and going and going. Yes, indeed, good way to start it. Votto a double, 2-out double by Van Meter, and now Aquino, a jam shot roller foul.
Aquino hasn't faced a pitcher like Hendricks yet. A guy that uses his brain more than he uses his arm, and he'll just study a scouting report. He'll know what he needs to do, and he's got the good enough command of his pitches to be able to pretty much carry out his game plan.
4 home runs in his first 9 games, and Meter will be tagged out to end the inning.
Not a good play.
But the Reds get a run and lead 1-0. All right, Sonny Gray, a 1-2-3 opening inning. His team gets him a run. In the bottom of the first inning, Van Meter a run scoring double. Then Josh ran into the final out of the inning with Aquino at the plate. So here comes Rizzo to be followed by Javier Baez and then Jonathan Lucroy. That ball hit Rizzo. Oh boy, they hit him again.
David Bell's going to come out, at least ask the home plate umpire to have maybe a little conversation with the other guys in the crew to see if they saw something else. That's Carlos Torres behind the plate.
Oh, definitely hit him. Not even debatable. 20th time that Rizzo's been hit this year. I don't know why David's out there. All right, so the leadoff man aboard here in the Chicago second inning, and now Javier Baez. 291 batter, 28 home runs, 79 runs batted in for the Chicago shortstop. Ball 1. He had a couple of big chances in the game here last night. And I mean, Trevor Bauer and Amir Garrett worked him over. He had 3 big chances. He had a runner at third with nobody out, bounced into a fielder's choice with a runner cut down at the plate. He had first and second, bounced into a fielder's choice, both of those against Trevor Bauer. And then against Sonny Gray against Amir Garrett, I beg your pardon, with the bases loaded and nobody out. He was the one who hit the ground ball to Votto, and they got the force out at home. So rare that Baez, among the game's most lethal hitters with runners in scoring position, failed in all 3 times up last night. Trying to keep it that way here tonight. 2-0 on Baez. Baez hails from Puerto Rico. The 9th overall pick in the 2011 draft in the first round by the Cubbies. And a swing and a miss.
Baez has got to be thinking that this might look like Trevor Bauer all over again. I mean, Bauer and Sonny Gray, built similar, both right-handers, both fastballs in the same range, both with exceptional spin on their breaking pitches. And it was very effective last night for Bauer to throw that curveball, hard breaking pitch combination down around the knees.
Got him swinging on a hard breaking ball again, down and away.
Yeah, we're gonna show you some comparisons, I think, as the game goes on about what was effective for Bauer last night and what is effective even so far in this short part of the ball game for Sonny Gray. I mean, as good as Bauer's curveball is, Sonny Gray's spin on his breaking pitches, his curveball and his sliders, is even better than Bauer's.
Now Jonathan Lucroy.
Now the spin on a breaking ball is only part of it. The location is the most important part.
Lucroy's had a very, very nice career. His best seasons, of course, coming while wearing a Milwaukee Brewers uniform. It's where the Reds have seen him with the most frequency. Was here for 7 years, from 2010 to 2016. He has bounced around a lot since then. He signed the big free agent contract to go down to Texas. That didn't work out. Went to Colorado. That didn't work out. Signed with Oakland. That didn't work out. Went to the Angels. But a career .275 hitter, over 200 doubles, and better than 1,100 major league games. Peraza, the shortstop, waves off all comers and squeezes it tightly for the second out in this second inning.
You know, as long as Sonny Gray is able to get ahead of the hitters tonight, he'll be able to really utilize the breaking pitch. Throw it as hard as he wants, start at the outer part of the plate, and it's very difficult for hitters to lay off. If he gets behind the hitters, it's a little different story. Then you have to come in there with a strike, maybe take a little bit off the spin, or come in with the fastball, and that's when trouble can brew. But so far, so good. Was ahead of Baez and has been ahead of Jonathan Lucroy.
Here's Kyle Schwarber. Pride of Middletown, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati. Played for Middletown High School.
Linebacker. Looks like a linebacker.
And he has admitted that he thought he was a pretty good linebacker and might have a chance to play in college until he had to chase around Braxton Miller in a high school game. Former Ohio State great quarterback, and he says maybe this game's not quite for me.
He was on the Middletown High School football team, though. When they beat Coleraine, I think the only loss that Coleraine has had inside their conference in a long, long time.
Straight up in the air, and this on a 2-0 pitch. It will be Peraza once more, and Gray another impressive inning. He hits Rizzo, but no hits.
Aristides Aquino leading off. He's been getting a lot of attention throughout baseball, and a lot of attention from his native Dominican Republic, many of which haven't seen the new Aristides Aquino, meaning the new stance. He's been getting messages from the Dominican who all of a sudden showing up on Reds highlights, and one of them he said today was, "Your stance is really ugly, but you hit the ball well. Keep it up, my friend."
Oh boy, as if on cue, did he get enough? He's done it again! Aristides Aquino! His 5th home run in his first 10 games in a Reds uniform. Unbelievable. That is the most ever by a Cincinnati Reds player, Major League Baseball's oldest franchise.
I hope he hits 50 if he gets that home run call.
Yeah, I've been working on that a little bit. My son didn't like it. That name is so good, you got to juice it up a little bit.
Oh, my gosh, is he good right now.
Yeah, now you get the fireworks. That's right. Boy, this kid, it's just mind-boggling. And I mean hitting him everywhere, down the left field line, second deck and left center. Last night, the home run to right field. Wow. And a 2-0, more importantly, Cincinnati lead against Hendricks here in the second inning.
Well, he gets jammed on this. You can see where the ball made contact with the bat, well in on the trademark. But enough to get it out of here tonight. Look out, John Tomer.
Look out there, big boy. That one not a play down the first base line.
You know, Aquino has a surprisingly short swing for a guy that has long arms, big long body anyway, big tall kid. A lot of times those players, especially when they are coming up through the minor leagues, have long swings, but that's the biggest adjustment that he has made in this year in the minor leagues, is shortening everything down.
And here's one down the left field line, and he got more of his than Aquino did. And it is 3-0 Cincinnati as Aquino and Senzel go back to back.
Oh, you're right. He got a lot of this one right in the sweet spot. Hendricks leaves the breaking pitch up, and Senzel is all over it.
We go back to the middle of June, and for so long, this Reds outfield was struggling mightily from an offensive standpoint. I mean, Winker got off to the slow start. Puig took him a while before finally getting going. Senzel was called up after a month, but you go back to the day they brought up Phillip Ervin. Reds outfielders have the highest batting average in Major League Baseball since the middle of June. We're talking about 2 months now. They have the second best on base percentage, second only to the Yankees. The second best slugging percentage, second only to the Yankees. And the Reds, by the way, are 3 games over 500 during that time frame. Almora can't hang on again. Great effort by Almora, but it pops out of the mid as his body made contact with the ground, and that'll be a base hit by Barnhart.
Now the Reds so far, and Almora have hit one just beyond his reach in center field, and then just beyond coming in towards the dugout. I thought he was going to be able to hold on to that one, but it tumbled, or he fell out of his glove as he tumbled. Or they're giving him a workout.
Yeah, they sure are. All right, here's Peraza. Still nobody out. Home run single off Hendricks to begin this inning. Ball 1 to Peraza. He went 1 of 3 in the game here last night. Knocked in a run with a single in the 7th inning. Playing in place once again of Jose Iglesias. And check in with Jim Day on this story. As there's a base hit into right center field. Off the bat of Peraza. So the hits just keep on coming. What is the latest from the Reds clubhouse on Iglesias?
He's got some right bicep soreness, and they just wanted to calm down. If this were a playoff game, he would be in there. They say he's available off the bench tonight, and you can hopefully have him back in the lineup tomorrow, but they just want that thing to not get worse.
Hopefully he'll get better soon, because he has had an outstanding year for the Reds. Perfect spot for Sonny Gray, and he has been by far the best bunting pitcher the Reds have this year.
What he's got to make do, though, is run it down the third base line. You've got to be able to make the third baseman field the ball. You see Rizzo coming in there hard. Now, you can bunt it past him if you want to go that way, but it's a very dangerous attempt to do that.
I tell you, I consider a Butcher Boy play.
I would too.
I mean, because Gray really handles the bat well.
Especially against a guy who's not overpowering like Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah, and I mean, Rizzo, he was sprinting to the third base side to cover this bunt. And he pushes it right by him. Beautifully done by Gray.
Boy, I love that. That is having a game plan, laying it down perfectly. I'll tell you, Sonny Gray's a good athlete.
Yes, he is.
We have heard so much about his exploits as a football player down in Tennessee growing up. He's an excellent golfer, and he puts the bat on the ball right there perfectly down the first base line.
Well, it's one thing, like you said, Chris, to have a game plan. It's another thing to execute a game plan. I mean, those are two different things. Gray has one and is able to do it. And now a big-time chance to add more runs in this inning. Winker was really worked over by Hendricks leading off the first inning. Got him on a weak pop fly to right.
Where Hendricks really takes advantage of a hitter is the hitter shows up in the batter's box with a big approach. Big swing, seeing the ball well because he's only throwing in the mid to high 80s, and you think that you can pop everything out of the ballpark. The bigger your swing, the more you fall into his trap. essential that Winker make contact right here and get this run in.
I mean, this is such a good Chicago lineup. You can't get enough runs against this team. We found that out here last night. They were knocking on the door to come back. And Winker is gone on 3 straight pitches. 2 down in the inning.
Boy, it's amazing, isn't it? 87 miles an hour, but if you put it in the right spot against the right hitter, you get what you need.
And that was not the put the ball in play kind of swing there to try and get that run in. That was a hardy cut by Winker, and now it's Votto. Joey started. Did he go around? They appealed. He did. Votto has a .590 career on base percentage against Hendricks. That's amazing. And that's his highest against any pitcher that he has seen in 30 or more plate appearances. And Votto with a double scored a run his first time up tonight. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, here we go again, though. He went 3 strikes in a row to Jesse Winker with runners in scoring position, and now he's ahead of Votto 0-2, runners in scoring position. I mean, he pitches fearlessly, Hendricks does, with runners on base.
Two to Votto, 2nd and 3rd, and he went, did he? Oh, they say no this time. All right. That's Ed Hickox down there. Reds caught a break there. Three balls and 2 strikes. Got to believe that's setting up the next pitch going away to Votto again. That's how they were trying to get him out through most of this at bat. Well, they ran one in on him, actually in the middle of the plate.
Well, it started in. I mean, and that's the kind of comeback action that Hendricks has on that fastball. It looks like when it's coming out of his hand that it's going to be right in on your hands, and it just moves right back over.
See if Votto can come up with a big 2-out base hit here. 3-2. Strike 3 called. Couple of home runs in the inning. They go back to back. Aquino and then Senzel. 3-0. Reds in front.
Right now, Sonny Gray is having his way with the Cubs. He's not giving up a run nor a hit right now. And you're going to see the similarity really between last night, Trevor Bauer, his offering of breaking pitches against this time Nicholas Castellanos, and then Sonny Gray tonight. Baez, the breaking ball by Bauer, and again tonight by Sonny Gray. Do they look familiar? Absolutely do. Back-to-back in the rotation, right-handers with the same type of approach and same stuff. So if it worked for Bauer last night, no reason why it will not work for Sonny Gray tonight.
Boy, was Bauer good last night. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, struck out 11. In his first home start wearing a Reds uniform, his debut came on the road in Atlanta, a losing effort, but gets a victory here last night. It'll be 8-9-1 in the Chicago third. The Reds with a 3-0 lead. It'll go Bodie, Hendricks, Almora. 1-1 to David Bodie.
You know, Tom, it's funny. If 3 or 4 years ago, if the Reds rotation had an outing like Bauer did last night, where you go 7 innings, give up 1 run, and strike out 11, you'd be talking about that for a week. But now you almost forget about it because now you've got Sonny Gray on the mound, and you're expecting him to duplicate, replicate, or come close to what Bauer did last night. And then tomorrow you're thinking, well, Luis Castillo's got a chance to be better than either of these guys. That's how far this pitching staff has come in a very short few years.
Well, it's amazing. Really in 1 year, because it was roughly around now where Castillo got on his roll. He had the dreadful first half of the season, remember that, or at least the first couple of months. And then he really took off in August and especially September, and has been great all year long this year. And of course, Gray and Bauer weren't even here this time last year.
Here's another way to look at it. The last 2 years, not including this year, Anthony DeSclafani was scheduled to be the opening day starter. In this rotation right now, if you're going to rank them 1 through 5, your opening day starter for the last 2 years, who didn't make it, by the way, because he was injured, unfortunately, is probably your 4th or 5th starter. And he's pitching his best ball of his career.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So you got to be excited about that. But you also have to throw strikes, and he's walked the number 8 hitter to lead off the 3rd inning.
He's hit a batter, walked a batter, not allowed to hit. Now Hendricks. 7 hits and 36 at bats, 4 runs batted in, and he has 4 sacrifices this year. That's strike 2. And he bunts it foul, and that's strike 3. You can watch out of market games regularly, live or on demand with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. 3 strikeouts through the front 9 batters for Sonny Gray. And here we go back to the top of the order with Almora Jr. Almora flying out to center field, leading off the Chicago first inning. Jam shot on a fastball out of play.
You know, when Joe Madden rests Jason Hayward, Hayward's having a pretty good year this year, and you end up putting Albert Almora at the very top of your lineup. His on-base percentage is .280. So you're hoping that he gets on base, and you're hoping that the middle of the order can get it done. But he has turned himself into pretty much more of a defensive specialist right now than he is offensive. Doesn't mean he can't come around. Still a young guy, 25 years old. Broke into the big leagues at age 21. Almora did.
Yeah, they had Schwarber there with some success for a little while earlier this year, and then that went by the board. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Almora. Breaking ball, did he go? No. Cubs had to place another pitcher on the injured list today. We saw him last night, Steve Cishek. And that just continues to add to this walking wounded, especially so in the Chicago bullpen. They've not had Brandon Morrow. They don't have Brandon Kinsler. They're without their closer, Craig Kimbrell. And now you can add another to that list. Tapper down to third. That's a fair ball. Long throw in time by Suarez. Bodie to second base for the second out of the inning. And coming up later on, we'll have our Hold True moment brought to you by Miller Lite. 2 down, and Castellanos coming up.
Yeah, the Cubs core has been pretty much the same over the last 5 years. They have added, however, a number of players this year. They've added 6 players if you want to include Kimbrell in that. Castellanos is up. We saw Derek Holland last night. David Phelps we've not seen. Tony Kemp has come in and pinch hit a couple of times. Those are all trade deadline deals that the Cubs made because, of course, there is no second trade deadline this year like there has been in the past. And they were very active.
Castellanos, his first time up, struck out by Sonny Gray. Fastball misses inside and low.
And the Reds were active too, but the Reds had 2 things in focus when they made the deals that they did. They wanted to improve their ball club this year, like when they brought in Trevor Bauer, but they also wanted to bring in a player that they could have for next year as well, or at least have some control over. And Bauer fits that mix. He will not be a free agent. He is arbitration eligible, but the Reds will have him. So it's kind of interesting where each team's coming from when they're trying to do that trade deadline. Of course, the hard deadline this year for the first time. And a lot of the players that the Reds, dealt away, Tanner Roark, Yasiel Puig, those are guys that were meant to be dealt away really from the time that they picked them up.
2-0. And Sonny Gray throws a 93-mile-per-hour fastball down in the zone around the knees and a swing and a miss. Just rears back and throws it right by him again on the inner part of the plate.
Well, he's got Castellanos exactly where he wants him, which is behind his fastball and out ahead of his breaking pitch.
See if they triple up on that fastball or whether they go back to the breaking ball away from him. They go to the breaking ball away from him, and the same result as the first at bat. Reds lead 3-0.
Time now for T-Mobile's connection to the game. Check out the Indians. On June 3rd, they are 1 game below 500, 11.5 games back of the Twins in the division. Since then, 41-16, best in Major League Baseball as far as winning percentage goes. They beat the Twins last night to tie them for the AL Central lead. They're supposed to play tonight, just getting underway after weather, and they will play 6 more times in September.
Yep.
What a race it's going to be in the AL Central. Some great baseball minds up there in Cleveland.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, there's some really good ones. I mean, from Cleveland, we talk frequently about Kevin Barnes down in Atlanta. But that Cleveland team is, 41-16 since June the 3rd. And you traded away one of your best pitchers.
Yeah.
Of course, the Indians have seen the rise of some younger pitchers in their starting rotation. And so, Corey Kluber is on the comeback trail. They got some very encouraging signs from him the other night, pitching now in the minor leagues. And so, look out for the Indians, especially come October, should they get there. Their pitching is that good. 1-2 on Suarez. Got Van Meter and Aquino to follow. The Reds with a 3-0 third inning lead. How about that comeback the Mets had last night? They score 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning. They have won 20 of their last 26 games.
Now that's a run.
A half a game out of the wild card. And that was a team, I mean, you talk about dysfunction.
Oh.
They were getting their tails kicked on the field. They were getting their teeth kicked in off the field. Talking about firing the manager. General manager having to defend the manager seemingly every day. And, of course, it's a zoo in New York as far as the media frenzy and covering the sports teams in that town with so many newspapers and radio stations and on and on and on and on. It's crazy.
Well, they're still in third place.
Yeah.
Last night's ball game, Todd Frazier hit that tie-breaking or the tie home run right down the line, and then Peter Alonso won it. So you ask yourself, all right, like we did last night, we discussed it very briefly, Tom. If the Mets can do it, why don't you think the Reds could do it? I mean, the Reds, they may not have the famous names in the rotation like some of the Mets do, but, man, this rotation is as good as, take a look around.
Well, Joe Madden said as much the other day. 8th pitch of the at-bat popped up, and Rizzo crosses into foul ground to make the grab. The Mets are a little bit better offensively than the Reds. The Reds have scored the 11th most runs in the league. The Mets have scored the 8th most. And from a pitching standpoint, the Reds' overall team ERA is fractionally better than New York. But they just hit one of these runs where even when they don't have a well-pitched game, and they've had plenty of those lately, you come up with 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning to win a game against the team you're chasing in your division and in the wild card, the Washington Nationals. We will see that team starting on Monday night. Reds will be in the nation's capital Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Van Meter, an RBI double into left center field his first time up. Baez will make the call and the catch for out number 2. And here comes Aquino. A home run his first time up. Second Reds rookie to hit a home run in 4 consecutive games. Eric the Red did it in September of 1984.
Does he remind you a little bit of Eric the Red?
Well, I don't know, but the way he's going right now, it's another home run by Aquino. Home runs, now 6 home runs in his first 10 games. And right now, that's his second most in the history of Major League Baseball in the first 10 career games. Trevor Story in 16 hit 7 of them for the Rockies. Well, this is unbelievable. Aquino. Well, young man's got a great smile too, doesn't he? I mean, he has just been beyond description. And now another rookie, Senzel, says, hold on a minute now. That ball bobbled in the outfield, and Senzel never breaks stride. That'll be a single and an error on the normally sure-handed Al Mora.
Boy, how exciting is it to have a young player coming out of the Reds farm system? I mean, a stud hitter type. It's been a long time since we've seen somebody with this type of ability to come up here and then be able to do it at the big league level. We've had a lot of applicants. I would say he is passing the test with flying colors right now.
Kidding me? 6 home runs and 12 runs batted in now for Aquino in his first 26 at-bats of this season. Man, oh man, oh man. Exciting indeed. Now Barnhart with Senzel running out at second base. Reds have scored in each of the first 3 innings against Kyle Hendricks here tonight. And a 4-0 advantage. Joe Madden made the comments about the Reds last night after the game. He said, man, what a job they are doing there in Cincinnati. He said, you look at this starting rotation. He said, you know, what you were saying basically, Chris, a little bit earlier. He said, you know, not only built for now, but built for next year. And says they still have those players on the field capable of doing some big things.
Well, they built up their pitching staff. And after years and years of hearing how important pitching is, we're finally seeing, you know, some action being taken.
Yep.
You know, anybody could have had Aquino last year. You may not remember exactly the circumstances when Aquino made his major league debut. He was called up last year in August, and he took the place of Joey Votto on the roster when Rob Votto went on the disabled list. A couple days later, he made his major league debut as a pinch runner when he pinch ran for Scooter Gennett. Then he stayed in the game, played right field, later struck out in his first major league at bat. At the end of the season, he was non-tendered by the Reds and became a free agent.
And Barnhart going to loop one to drive in another run. Senzel will easily score, and it is 5-0 Cincinnati. Pouring it on the Cubbies early tonight.
Well, Tucker Barnhart has been a completely different guy, too, since coming back off the injured list. And Aquino's done so much as far as home runs and all the highlights that we've seen of this young hitter. We're almost forgetting about how good Barnhart has been. Drives a run in here with a nice single in the right center field. But to finish the story on Aquino, so he was a free agent as of November 30th, 2018. Reds signed him to a minor league deal after that.
Drive into left center field by Peraza. And a bad break for Peraza and the Reds. It bounces over the wall, so they'll make Barnhart go back to third. And don't look now, but Jose Peraza starting to swing the bat.
Well, he's been given an opportunity the last couple of days to play because Iglesias has a sore arm, and he takes advantage of it. I'll tell you, Kyle Hendricks not used to being beat around like this. And with all the injuries that the Cubs have had in their bullpen, I'm not so sure that Joe Madden wants to hurry up and get that bullpen working.
It's only the third time that Hendricks has given up more than 3 runs in his 17 starts going back to the month of April. All right, Sonny Gray's going to get a chance to swing the bat this time. He had the bunt, the sacrifice his first time up, and we know he can hit a little bit. Away and 1 to Sonny Gray. And a base hit into right field. 1 run scores. Here comes Peraza. He will score. 7-0. Cincinnati in front.
When it all goes your way right here. Sonny Gray with a brilliant bunt his last time up. This time a brilliant swing as he's able to ground a ball right past the diving second baseman David Bodie. And a couple will come around to score. Boy, nothing like a couple of sweet 2-out ribeyes.
Well, I mean, all of this has happened since the first 2 were retired in the inning. Every run in the inning. The first 2 popped up. Suarez and Van Meter. You got the home run by Aquino. You got a single by Senzel, a single by Barnhart to knock in a run. Peraza, a ground rule double, and a 2-run single by Sonny Gray. All 3 of Sonny Gray's runs batted in his career have come this year. His first year pitching now in the National League. And here's Winker 0 for 2. Dylan Maples beginning to get loose in the Chicago bullpen. This has just been a thrashing by the Reds tonight on Kyle Hendricks, a guy who has basically owned this team seemingly since the day he set foot making his major league debut in his ballpark. 11 hits and 7 runs in 2 2/3 innings. And remember, this guy has not given up more than 2 runs in a game going back to the first week of June. And here's another hit down to left field line. Gray sprinting on his way to third. Winker going into second base with a double.
Jesse Winker was not going to allow that to happen again. He struck out last time on a high fastball. And he goes right up there on his tiptoes to get that one across the letters. Lines it down the left field line. And a long slide into second base.
And this is going to be a painful walk to the mound for Madden and a far more painful walk back to the dugout for Kyle Hendricks. Who would have seen this coming tonight as well as this young man has been pitching? 12 hits, 7 earned runs so far in 2 2/3 innings. And those dressed in blue in the ballpark tonight not making much noise so far. So be our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. Our key performer brought to you by a Tri-State Buick GMC dealers would be the Reds box score in this one. 12 hits. Suarez the only one looking for his first hit in this game. It's the most Hendricks has ever given up in a game. And the 7 runs matches his career high allowed as well. Just shaking his head. What are you going to do? And his manager saying, hey, there'll be better days. We know that. So now Votto, 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 4 in this third inning. After the first 2 were retired to start the inning. And Dylan Maples is on from the bullpen for Chicago.
Just called up today. Maples was when Steve Cishek went on the disabled list. He's been up in the big leagues before this year. 10 games for the Cubs. Was also up last year and in 2017.
2-0. Six consecutive hits, producing 7 Cincinnati runs. And this will end the inning. Votto on a ground ball to second. 9 of them back. 4 of them scored. We have played 3. Aquino with a big fly to get it rolling.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Sonny Gray given a 7-0 lead. It hasn't always been that way for Gray this season. For the Reds, check out our Alcanelk storylines. Look at his ERA and wins, what you would expect from an all-star pitcher. Very respectable ERA and his no decisions below the National League average. But look at his losses. 3.45 ERA in his losses. And the National League starting average is 7.48 ERA. That says he's been consistent, but hasn't consistently been getting the offensive support. 22 starts. He's allowed 8 times 0 or 1 run, 11 times 2 or 3 runs, and just 4 runs is the most he's given up in 3 starts this season. We'll see how he reacts with a 7-0 lead.
All right, so now Sonny Gray just needs to start throwing lots of strikes and getting some quick outs. And it's a strike to Bryant. And a bouncing ball. It'll be a quick out. It'll be a 2-pitch out. That's a nice play coming in to get that ball by Van Meter.
Well, Bryant runs well. We say that seemingly every time he comes up because he always runs hard down the line. That time they get him by quite a bit. Good charge on that ball by Van Meter. That's really the one unknown we have on Josh Van Meter right now, where his best position is. How well can he play second base? Can he turn the 2? What's his range like? Would he be a better outfielder? You know, when they first called him up, he was basically relegated to coming off the bench and being a pinch hitter. But the more he swung the bat, the more he was very impressive, and the more you wanted to give him more at-bats.
One ball and 1 strike on Rizzo, and a fastball up and in. Rizzo hit by a pitch his first time up. And a breaking ball drops in there to even the count. Trailing away from Winker, and that ball will get out of play. Started to chase a fastball up, does not. fastball at 95 just off the outside corner. And now a quick message from Miami Valley Gaming.
Get ready to get lucky at Miami Valley Gaming.
Sonny Gray is still not allowed a base hit through 3 1/3 innings. He has hit a batter and he's now walked 2 batters. Here's Baez, who struck out his first time up. Back to the mound, should be 2 to end the inning. It is. Right through the heart of the order. Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Ford. Go further. By Kroger, it's easy to place your order online and pick it up at the store. Try it today at Kroger.com. And by Gilkey Window, family owned since 1978. They had the Reds Heads Kids Club Q&A with some of the players, coaching staff before the game. Really, really nice event on a beautiful day at the ballpark earlier this afternoon. Just some of the perks that come along with being a member of that. Jim Day was hosting a big-time season ticket holder luncheon the other day. Saw some of the pictures from that event. That looked really, really cool. And a high drive left center. A Eugenio. Bye-bye. The last Red in the order without a hit through the first 3 innings, and you can change that right now. Number 32. 7 of his 32 this year again against Chicago.
Boy, it's been a while since I remember the Reds having a game like this against the Chicago Cubs, especially in a big ballpark night like tonight. So many people here. Reds fans, Cubs fans. I mean, it's a great crowd, and they are being treated to an awful lot of offense.
Tonight is the 15th game between the two teams this year. Reds are 8-6 in the front 14 against them. They've won 3 of the first 4 series against Chicago, and then lost the most recent one at Wrigley Field in the middle of July. They'll only have 1 series against one another after tomorrow's game in 2019. That'll be a 3-game set at Wrigley Field in mid-September. And I'm sure for Joe Madden that might be actually a-okay, because the Reds are the only team in the Central Division with a winning record against the Chicago Cubs. And Chris, you brought it up earlier. I don't know how many teams are lining up to face this Cincinnati pitching staff right now.
Well, you know, you hear from each of the coaching staffs of teams that come in, Tom, or the teams that you go visit. And they look at the Reds now completely differently than they did even early in the year.
Yep.
I mean, and a lot of it has to do with the pitching, obviously. The pitching staff is so much better now with experience out there. Guys like Gray, and of course you bring in Trevor Bauer. But also the enthusiasm and the youthfulness of this ball club. They're playing with a little kind of a jump in their step.
Well, we brought up earlier before this series ever began that, you know, all the games you've already played against the Cubs this year. And coming into this series as Van Meter taps out to second base, they were going to see in this series Bauer and Alex Wood, who had not been with the team all year long.
Right.
Well, let's hear this round of applause first. He hits another home run here. They might put him in the Reds Hall of Fame. But anyway, so here are the 2 tonight. First one, a jam shot just inside the fair pole. And there was a no-doubter, the second one. 1-1, but Then you look at the position players. They've seen Urban in the past, but they haven't seen the Urban that they're seeing right now. He had, 3-4 hits in the first game of the series, even though the Reds lost a game. You're looking at Aquino, whom they've never seen. You're looking at Van Meter, who they got a taste of him in Chicago, but he's starting to get more and more regular playing time now. So it's a different team than the one even the Cubs faced in the month of July. Ooh, he had a pitch to hit right there, 89 right down the can, and found it straight back. That's what we were talking about earlier. Trevor Story, boy, what a story he was in 2016. That was the start of season. Not only his first 10 career games, but he had 7 home runs in the first 10 games of the year for Colorado. And now 6 of them in the first 10 games for Aquino. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in Major League history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. Well, this better be curtain call time here. It's got to be. There we go. Yes, indeed. Wow. That's unbelievable.
I mean, these aren't cheapies either. The first one just inside the foul pole down the left field line. But I mean, that one right there.
Now, his teammates can't even believe it.
I don't think anybody in his ballpark. They're going to have to go home and watch highlights to believe what they saw.
He becomes the second player ever with a 3-homer game through the first 10 games of his career. And here's a name from the past. I mean, you could have been here until 7 years from now and never guessed the other. Bobby Estalella. Remember him?
No.
You remember him, a catcher with the Philadelphia Phillies in the late 90s. Played for the Giants, I think, for a little while. Senzel fouls it out of play.
I would not have guessed him.
No.
Let me put it that way.
Yeah, no chance. Aristides Aquino. 7 home runs in 27 at-bats so far this year. And I think it bears repeating the story you began to tell, Chris, before he hit his last home run, that the Reds had basically given him his walking papers at the end of the year. Anybody in baseball could have signed him
to a minor league contract.
To a minor league deal. And they have that rule in place so a guy doesn't get buried inside of the system for years and years and years and years, and he can get a chance after, what, 6 years, I think it is, to go ahead and sign
minor league free agency.
Yep. Oh, my gosh. That ball was killed. We got to go back and see where that thing landed. I mean, the second that thing left the bat, this thing is killed. .452 feet. I mean, look at his teammates. Suarez just can't believe it.
I mean, they don't hit him up there in batting practice, much less during the game. Look out in the angry orchard.
Yeah, that's right. 25 years old, a native Dominican. Reds signed him back in 2011. Richard Jimenez, who now runs all the Latin American operations for the Reds, is a scout at the time. You know, in 2014, he was the organization's minor league, big time prospect. Got off to a great start. 2016, he was the Florida State League Player of the Year and won the organization's Sheldon Chief Bender Award as the Reds minor league player of the year. But no sooner at 2016 come and gone, he hit .216 the next year. And now all of a sudden here he is. And I mean to tell you, nobody knows what the future holds. But there are a lot of Reds fans that are going to remember this young man's name just based on what he's done for 10 games. 7 big flies, 3 of them tonight. Well, the celebration continues Saturday, August 17th. We have a Johnny Bench 150 Series bobblehead presented by John Morrell. It's the second of 2 bobbleheads representing the Riverfront Stadium era. The first was Joe Morgan. For more information on the 150th bobblehead series, it's great stuff. And for tickets, visit Reds.com/150. This has been mind-boggling here tonight. I mean, the Cubs are the first place team. They've been the better team clearly for many, many years and a long, long time, and this year too. But tonight, what we have witnessed from that young man, Aristides Aquino, 3 home runs in the game here tonight.
What can he be feeling right now, Tom?
I don't know.
I mean, he looks like this is just another ordinary day for him. I mean, first of all, you ought to be tickled to death that you've been called up or you're in the major leagues. But to do what he has done so far, and tonight, the cappers, it's
4 innings.
Yeah. Boy, it's just fun to watch. And he's such a great kid to be around.
And he's a mountain of a man, too, now.
And he's not really even grown into his body. He's 25 years old. He's still got some filling in to do.
Just turned 25.
Yeah.
So 9-0 Reds in front through the first 4 innings. Here's Lucroy. Nine runs, 14 hits for Cincinnati through the first 4 innings of this one. They got 7 of the 9 against the starter Hendricks. 2 so far against Maples. No runs, no hits for Chicago. Up under Lucroy's chin, 3 balls and a strike. Gray has walked 2 and hit a batter. And now he's walked a 3rd batter. He did walk 4 batters in his last start. The 7 innings of 4-hit shutout baseball against Atlanta. He struck out 7, but did issue 4 walks.
Well, what you really want to do here is to get him to go deep into the ball game. Your team is giving you a big lead. Go ahead and take it right on in and give us at least 7 innings. But if your pitch count starts jumping up there, and it's not really anywhere out of control at all right now, because he's been able to work around the walks that he's had. He had a hit by pitch to lead the inning off in the 2nd, walked the first man in the 3rd, and walked here the first man in the 5th. I don't think the Sonny Gray's kind of pitcher just to sit back and just kind of throw it in there and try to get easy outs. I mean, he is a full bore competitor, and every pitch he throws is at full speed.
Nasty, biting, breaking ball down and into Schwarber, who comes up empty. 0-2.
I'll tell you, it's really amazing the break on the pitches that Sonny Gray and Trevor Bauer are able to get, given the baseballs that they're playing with nowadays basically have no seams. The seams are so small, not like it used to be where you could really push your middle finger right onto a seam and get a good grip. Not easy to do that at all anymore. And that has, of course, affected how the ball travels, as well as makes it difficult for those pitchers that don't give a full pull to get that ball to spin enough to break.
1-2 on Schwarber. And a base hit into right center field. The first of the game by Chicago. And the Cub fans are standing and cheering. They have had Zippo to cheer about here tonight. But again, you never start throwing in the towel on teams, especially this Chicago team. We have seen the Reds this year lose 7-0 leads. We saw them lose an 8-0 lead in this ballpark over the Giants. And we're only in the top of the 5th inning with 2 on and nobody out. David Bodie, the batter. I think that's a pitcher, Tyler Chatwood, they have standing in the on-deck circle. Is that who that is? Yeah, I thought it was. And the Cubs only have, Chris brought it up earlier, they have 2 left-handed batters available, Hayward and Kemp. 2 switch hitters available, and Happ and Caratini. Ball and 1 strike on Bodie, 2 on and nobody out. Ball is lined into left, and a nice play made by Winker. One out in the inning.
Really good play by Jesse Winker right there. Kind of leaning that way. Saw the ball coming into the right-handed hitting Bodie. Bodie's got plenty of power. I mean, he was on the run as that ball was struck. Been that kind of night for the Reds.
So now it will be Chatwood. Pinch hitting for Maples, who goes, an inning and a third. Allows a couple of hits and a couple of home runs. 2 runs total. Struck out a batter, didn't walk anybody. talked about Chatwood the other night. He was a guy that came in and got the win. 3 innings of excellent relief work behind Cole Hamels, who was knocked out of the game at the end of 3 innings. That this guy could hit. 3 of 14 this year, a pair of doubles and a run batted in. And Sonny just throws a fastball right by Chatwood.
Well, he's had as many as 7 runs batted in 1 year. That's when he was pitching with Colorado. Batted at even 300 2013. Definitely looking for something to pull too. You watch his front side, his left side kind of opening up a little bit, stepping in the old proverbial bucket.
And out of there on strikes. So quieting things down a little bit after that line out to left field. That's 5 strikeouts for Gray, and here is Almora Jr.
Would be an odd series, wouldn't it, if the Reds continue to score more runs, put the game really out of reach, that we might see a position player pitch for the Cubs.
Yeah, they did it a couple of nights ago.
Yeah. So maybe in the same series, 4-game series, you see a position player pitch for each of the teams.
Yeah, they had
Kyle
Davis.
Farmer did it the other night, and the Cubs did it against the Oakland A's.
That was in the game they were getting hammered on. I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, they won the Monday and Wednesday games over Oakland, and they got kicked around pretty good on Tuesday. That's when they brought in Davis, the backup catcher, to pitch, and an Oakland Athletic. It was a swinging bunt in that inning, and it was kind of funny, kind of like the other night. I mean, like it was when Farmer came in here, although the swings were a little different. I mean, you got Hayward and even Baez turning around to bat left-handed.
Well, that's what happens when you play 162 games. You can't get wrapped up in any one game unless you're the starting pitcher that ends up giving up all the runs, and you're the one that kind of takes a scar away from that game, and it's usually in the way of your earned run average bumping up.
That was almost like a Johnny Cueto, a little delivery hesitation that time by Gray before he delivered that pitch to strike out Almora.
If a Reds home run hits the Toyota sign during tonight's game, Diana Brunsman from Hamilton, Ohio, when the beautiful new Tundra on display, and with the way Aquino's going, that Tundra might not be safe, even though it's opposite field for Aquino. It's brought to you by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Speaking of long home runs, tonight's Geico Reds historical moment, August 10th, 2004, Lima time, serves it up, and Adam Dunn, the longest home run in Great American Ballpark history. That was back before that riverboat deck was out there over the batter's eye. An estimated 535-foot blast against the Dodgers. And oh, by the way, wearing number 44 was Adam Dunn.
Yes,
and now
he was.
44 in 2019 is punishing the baseball.
Jose Lima was a fun guy. I say was because he sadly passed away far too young. 37 years old, died in Pasadena, California. He was really a fun-loving guy, flamboyant, free spirit. Had lots of animation out there, the displays of emotion out on the mound, and so sorry to lose him so young. had a heart problem that was not diagnosed and died from a cardiac arrest. Alec Mills takes over on the mound now for Chicago, and they have lots of other changes out there. See the numbers on Mills, just his 3rd game. And they're going to get some of their regular guys out of this game. I mean, this is probably something, Chris, we talk about from time to time when your team's getting hammered like this and you've gone through 5 innings. They get Rizzo out of there. Bodie goes over to short. They get Baez out of there. They put Kemp in at second base. And Ian Happ takes over at 3rd. So they get their big 3 out of the game for the rest of the night of Bryant, Baez, and Rizzo.
Funny how managerial styles will differ on that. There are some managers that would think that this is too early in the ball game to do that, especially in a small ballpark like Great American. Although if you're gauging the way that things are going for Sonny Gray, maybe you just see reality right in the eye. For instance, Tony La Russa was a guy that would very reluctantly make a move like this early. In fact, he never wanted to give you anything at any point. A lot of times his team would be down for 4 or 5 runs in the 7th or the 8th inning, and he's making 2 or 3 pitching changes in the inning, just in the event you make a big comeback and you get back in the game. Madden, I think, at the beginning of a long road trip, they go from here to Philadelphia after this. And all these games are very important for the Cubs, obviously. He's got to rest these guys. They got a day game tomorrow and want them to come out fresh against Luis Castillo.
Well, they got 11 days, 10 games. They'll play in that Little League World Series game. So they're going to play in Pittsburgh, but they're also going to, so there's a lot going on.
Yeah. They'll play 2 games at Pittsburgh, and then they'll play at Williamsport on the 18th.
Yep.
That's after they play 3 games in Philadelphia.
They do get an off day Monday. Winker 1 of 3, double to left field his last time up, and he draws a 2-out walk from Mills here in the 5th inning. Joey Votto 1 of 3, had a double, tagged the ball to straightaway center field his first time up. Almora got a glove on it, and then it popped out of there. Joey wound up scoring the first run of the game on a double by Van Meter. And then Votto struck out looking with the bases low, with 2 on in the 2nd inning, and bounced out stranding 2 to end the 3rd. Straightaway center. Almora to the track. Inning over. 1 left. We played 5. All Cincinnati so far tonight. 9-0. Well, join the Reds our next Family Sunday. That would be tomorrow. Special ticket offer. We have mascot races, carnival games, so much more. And kids 14 and younger receive a Jose Peraza Fathead presented by Cincinnati Children's. Visit Reds.com/150. Final game of the series tomorrow. And you'd like to think with the Reds at the end of 5 holding a 9-0 lead that we would go into tomorrow taking a peek around the corner for the Reds trying to win the series. So we're just talking about the changes made by Joe Madden, and David Bell going to do the same for 2 of his regulars, the corner infielders. O'Grady in, Votto out, Farmer in, Suarez out. Sonny Gray delivers pitch number 75 of the night. And it's ball 1 to Castellanos. He'll be followed by Happ and then Caratini. Straight up in the air and playable. It appears for O'Grady. Nope, ran out of room, and hopefully he's all right. Obviously no experience playing in this ballpark. And must not have recognized how close he was to that tarp in the wall, and hopefully he's all right.
Well, he comes away smiling. That's a pretty good idea that he's okay. Better to run into a tarp at the big league level than it is down in AAA. Kind of ran into a little bit of padding right here, and he got the Cubs fan to kind of help him accidentally. You always want to land on a soft spot, I guess.
He's a big, strong young man.
Really nice kid, too. It was great to see his family up here in the stands. They went home over the weekend. They went back to Philadelphia. They just live about 15 minutes north of the city center. Got a big surprise birthday party tonight. Hope I didn't blow it for.
Yeah, I hope you didn't either.
Hopefully it's already gotten underway and they're watching Reds game and seeing Brian in a ball game here this evening.
Castellanos lost a handle of the bat on that swing and a miss. 3-2. Man just blew him away with a fastball. Well, a little different story tonight for Castellanos. He has struck out all 3 times up against Sonny Gray.
Well, they struck out 3 times tonight, and after the home run in the first inning last night, he struck out 2 other times, walked and popped up to first base. So maybe coming back down to earth a little bit.
He has a hit in each of his first 9 games with Chicago, hitless tonight. And here is Ian Happ. Happ just brought up where he has spent the entire year in the minor leagues at AAA Iowa.
He's had a really good run of it, though, since he's come up. One of the real difference makers that the Cubs have had in their lineup.
Yeah, 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in.
Batting up around 300. Slugging nearly 600.
Well, I think that he is represented, if I'm not mistaken, by our old buddy Kent Merker.
Indeed. Kent works with Casey Close.
Yeah.
And that agency there. And Kent has a couple players on this team. I think he's got Kyle Schwarber and Ian Happ.
Casey Close, if I remember right, he's a Columbus native. I think he went to Upper Arlington High School.
I believe he might be right on that.
There's a ground ball to Peraza, who throws out Happ.
We saw Merck at the game tonight, at least during batting practice. The Reds didn't take BP, believe it or not. The Cubs did.
Well, maybe there's something to that.
I don't know, but Merck was down there and talking to some of his guys, Schwarber and Ian Happ.
Well, he looks good.
I hope Merck comes up. We invited him to come up to the booth. Always welcome. What a great guy.
Great head of hair. And then has that. Then he has that gray in his beard. Look at this guy behind the plate asking Beth, "Will you marry me?" Dressed up in Harry Carey glasses, and it almost looks like a Montreal Exos, but it's a Cub hat. Got to look at his boiler real quick there. And he's asking Beth, "Will you marry me?" I mean, look at this guy. I guess he's going to find out if Beth said yes or no. Got the Cub tattoo on the left elbow there.
Maybe he's asking everybody in the diamond seats, is your name Beth? Couldn't find one. He might head on to another section.
That's the best kind of getting married. I mean, those are the old Harry Carey style glasses.
I think you need to get some specs like that.
I love those. Loved Harry. Loved him. He was just the best. And maybe that's Beth calling him back, or a Beth. She said yes. Look at him. Swinging a foul ball back out of play. I'm assuming that means Beth, wherever Beth may be, has said yes to his wedding proposal. I mean, who wouldn't marry a guy with Harry Carey glasses and a Grateful Dead t-shirt?
Irresistible.
It really is. I mean, who couldn't wait for a cat like him to come knocking on the door and asking your daughter out for a date?
What are the chances that that wedding ceremony is performed at Wrigley Field?
Oh, you can mark
or at
it
least
down.
in Wrigleyville.
Oh, you can mark it down. How about that guy? It's great stuff.
What's your dad love to say? Ain't love grand?
Ain't love grand.
Yeah.
I mean, I give it up to that guy. I know one thing. Beth will never forget where she was when he asked her to get married, and where he was when he asked her to get married. I already had a message from the mayor of Terrace Park, Ohio, the distinguished Tom Topper Tepe, that said he would perform that ceremony out in the park should that gentleman and Beth so choose.
I'm not so sure they're park material, but if the mayor approves from, what can you say?
Oh, he'd fit right in, that guy. 3-2 on Caratini. Ninth pitch in this at bat. And a foul ball. And I was wrong about Casey Close, by the way. We knew Merker went to Dublin, but I want to thank Mark Miser, one of the great baseball minds out there. He was quick to point out that Casey Close went to Worthington. Of course, they've split Worthington now up into at least 2, maybe 3 different high schools. That's so big, and it's 2. And Dublin might have. I think Dublin now has 3 of them, if I remember right. We played in a junior high school lacrosse tournament, state tournament up there this spring, and God, I tell you, those big schools, the growth in those areas, especially Dublin, is mind-boggling. Three and 2 on Caratini. 12th pitch, and he draws a walk. That's quite a plate appearance here. All right, Jim Day, I knew you were going to hunt him down. Give us the story, big fella.
You know it. This is Jeremy. Evansville, Indiana, right?
Yes, sir.
So Beth is watching in Evansville, Indiana, right?
Yes, sir.
And you held up a sign, and she's the one that called you?
She called. She said, yeah, so beers, or y'all got your beers all night. Everybody in the stadium.
Everyone in the stadium. Well, you are in the Diamond Club, so all right.
Yeah,
So,
he's in a Diamond Club. He gets them for free.
Yeah, you're in the Diamond Club. You get them for free. He's a big spender down here.
He is.
So,
Beth's in for good luck.
so was she surprised?
Yes, she was. She told me not to be stupid here tonight, and I felt like that was the way to do it. She's a winner. She's lucky. Look at me.
I'm telling you. You got the look.
Total package. Total package.
It's a total package as you're looking at a replay of the reaction to when Beth called him back, a moment you'll never forget, and certainly Beth will never forget. So good luck in your marriage.
Well, we'd like to forget this game tonight as a Cubs fan, so
Yeah.
I hope our marriage rolls better than this game does.
I love digging Harry Carey glasses. What does Beth think of the glasses?
She's Did not know what I'm wearing, but if y'all want me to sing the 7th inning stretch, I'm your man.
The whole package. Hey, Jimmy's the whole package.
He's got the whole package, Tom. It's Jeremy. He's got the whole package.
That is awesome. I got to tell you, what a great attitude.
It's the first time I've hugged a Cubs fan in my life.
Yeah, that's really good stuff.
I just knocked his glasses off on accident, too. We're good? All right.
Yeah, brother.
Good luck. Seriously, ain't love grand. Good luck to
My
you.
man. Thank you. Yes, sir, it is.
A little kid walking by him down there shook his hand. There's a floater. It'll fall in a base hit. Second Cub hit of the game. This one off the bat of Tony Kemp. That's 100 pitches now for Sonny Gray, and we are just in the 6th inning.
Well, he had really been cruising right along. Gray had, even with the big lead. He threw 21 last inning. That's when he walked the leadoff batter, gave up a base hit to the second batter, and ended up with a couple of strikeouts and pushing it again here in this inning.
Two on, two out, and the batter now Jonathan Lucroy, who has popped a short and drawn a walk. It's a little bit reminiscent of a lot of games we saw from Sonny Gray early in the season. Not necessarily shutting somebody out on 2 hits, but I meant more along the lines of a very high pitch count through 5 or 6 innings in a game. He's been much more pitch efficient as this season has gone on.
You know, it sounds funny though, Tom, but it's not easy to keep your concentration in a game like this.
I believe that.
Pitching. I mean, you almost have to convince yourself that you're in a 1-0 game or a 2-1 ball game just to keep that edge. When you're a starting pitcher, you know, everything that you do for the entire week is built towards the one day in which you take them out and you're going to start. And you've got to be able to get all hyped up and adrenalized and ready to go, but you have to stay under control and keep it focused. And all of a sudden, everybody in the dugouts cutting up and having fun. You're seeing a young rookie hit his 3 home run night, and you're thinking, by the way, I've got to finish this ball game.
On the ground to the right side, and Sonny Gray will get through 6 shutout innings here tonight. His ERA down at 3.11 on the year. Sit tight, everybody. The big fella, number 44, due up 3rd in the inning. Already in the Cincinnati Reds record books, and this is the 150th anniversary of the franchise. Second player, along with Trevor Story, ever with 7 home runs in his first 10 career games. 23rd, second player ever with a 3-homer game within his first 10. First rookie in Major League history to homer in 3 consecutive innings. And the 3rd Reds rookie ever with a 3-homer game, but we're not finished yet. He's going to bat in the 6th inning, which is right now. And who knows? He might get a chance to get one more AB in tonight.
Look at him. Can't wait to get up there and into that on-deck circle, then in the batter's box.
And here's a drive off the bat of Kyle Farmer. Goodbye. So that's back-to-back home runs from the third base spot. And that third spot in the batting order. Now Van Meter. 10-0. Reds in front. Van Meter 1 of 3, RBI double. He actually knocked in the first run of this game in the first inning. With a double in the left center field, he since popped up and bounced out. Okay, here we go. 2 down in the inning, and guess who's coming up? I mean, there have been a lot of good players in their careers that hit a total of 7 home runs. Doug Flynn hit 7 in over 4,000 plate appearances.
The glue.
Bud Harrelson in over 5,500.
Pete Rose's punching bag.
2 balls and no strikes. As many as guys like Ben Revere. Now the crowd, they're like, hold on a minute now. This guy's got to get a strike. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Nowhere near the strike zone. And you're not going to green light him 3-0 up 10-0. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. And Madden, believe me, he doesn't want to see that either. Oh well, maybe he'll get one more crack at it. That's too bad. Not even close. 4 straight pitches. Breaking balls in a 10-0 game. Then the very next guy comes to the plate and you throw a heater on the first pitch. Come on. And a tag out Aquino for the second out of the inning.
Actually, it was a pretty smart play by Aquino to run back towards first base. Stayed out of a double play. He could have run right into the second baseman right here, been tagged, and been easy double play. Too late for him to go around the fielder. So he just gets tagged a step forward, goes back to the bag.
Reds have hit 6 home runs in this game. How about Aquino coming down there to congratulate Farmer on his home run? For the first time the Reds have hit 6 home runs in a game was on April the 5th, 2013 against the Washington Nationals. If I'm not mistaken, that was an extra inning game. No? Well, they scored 15 runs in that game. I thought that might have been that game when Votto hit that home run to end the game. 2-1 on Barnhart. Alec Mills, a young man from Clarksville, Tennessee, born and raised, still makes his home down that way. I thought I remembered he made his first major league start against the Reds last year. That was August the 24th. He really pitched well in that game. He struck out, remember that? He struck out 8 batters in 5 2/3 innings at Wrigley Field. Took a no decision. He was on their wild card roster. That 1-game playoff the Cubs had against Milwaukee last year. He did not pitch in that game. Well, he walks Barnhart. I invite you to come out to the Reds live set tomorrow. Bring a sign or make one at the ballpark, and you can be a part of the pregame show. Dan Horde going to be hustling back from Kansas City after calling the Bengals preseason opener tonight. Jim Day will be back in there in the Fox Sports Ohio condominium. Be good to have him back down there tonight, especially after this kind of a game.
They will be rip-roaring and having some fun down there.
You're right about that. Peraza's had a nice night tonight. Single, a double, has scored a run. He should have had a run-scoring double in that 4-run third inning, where the ball bounced over the wall, sending a runner back, and he gave Sonny Gray a chance to knock in 2 runs.
Well, something going on here at Great American Ballpark, Tom, that Cubs fans and Reds fans can agree upon. It's coming on around. Maybe you'll join.
I will. I love the wave.
The wave.
I love it. A lot of people don't like it. I think it's great.
I think it's
really
great.
Cool. It's really cool to see it in a stadium when they're doing it. Everybody likes to make fun of it and say, "Oh, I'll never do it." But as they get this thing going, it really looks cool inside of a stadium.
Well, that was a very half-hearted effort you just made. You didn't even get out of your chair.
I was in the middle of a set. I can't do too many things at one time. Let me take a look at it. Cruising around the outfield now. All the Cub fans are doing it, and of course they're always the ones that come to, "Oh, we never do that at Wrigley Field." All right, I'm going to give it a gamer's effort this time. You ready?
I'm ready.
Come on. The ball hits Peraza. Here they come. Coming around our way, Chris. Here we go.
Just in time for bases loaded.
That's right. Nice. Very nice.
I feel a lot better.
I do too. We've been sitting here for a long time, and it's the 6th inning. Sal Romano is going to bat for Sonny Gray. 6 innings tonight for Sonny. Lights out. Gives up 2 hits. He walked 4. Struck out 7. That's exactly what he did his last start, except he went 7 innings, did not give up a run. He struck out 7 and walked 4. Good stuff tonight from Sonny Gray. And this will be the first pinch hitting appearance, I assume, for the pitcher Romano. Big fella getting down the line, but not going to be in time. Reds leave him loaded. They get a run on the home run by Farmer. Time to take a look at our Honda game summary. It has been the Aquino night tonight. He hit his first home run of the game down the left field line in the 2nd inning. His second home run of the game came in the 3rd inning. And then a monster blast in the 4th inning. Rewriting Reds franchise records, tying a major league record with 7 home runs in his first 10 games. And then Sonny Gray, certainly overshadowed by Aquino, but lights out again.
Well, he had to start the ball game lights out because this game didn't get out of hand immediately. He went 1-2-3 first inning, 4-batter second inning, a 4-batter third inning, and really wasn't threatened at all until the 5th. Overall, nice job by Sonny Gray. And he's sitting on the bench now, presumably there with Trevor Bauer, talking a little pitching. There's 2 guys right there that know a little bit about the curveball.
Yes, indeed. Sal Romano will take over on the mound. Sonny Gray's not given up more than 6 hits in any of his 23 starts as a Red. That's the 3rd longest streak in Reds history, behind Castillo at 29 of them. From May of last year till April of this year, Tony Cingrani started his career with 24 of those. And now Gray with 23. So Romano just called up from the minor leagues when the Reds parted ways with David Hernandez. Straight away center field, and that'll be out number 1 to start the Chicago's 7th inning.
When Romano was sent down in the minor leagues, they immediately put him in the bullpen. And that's where he stayed for most of the minor league season, went down there right out of spring training. And then they began to start him really beginning right around the 1st of July. And trying to up his, innings count. It was only going 4 or 5 innings each time out. Worked very hard to get back here.
Oh, and 1 on Bodie. And a liner into left center field. This one will roll all the way to the wall, and Bodie into second base for the double. His first hit tonight. Only the 3rd all night for Chicago. Pitcher Mills is going to bat. They're going to try to get him to log some innings tonight. They had to use a lot of bullpen the first game of this series when Hamels lasted just 3. They got 6 decent innings out of Darvish, although he was a loser, giving up 4 last night. And a base hit into right field by Mills.
Well, the game that you talked about last year, Tom, when Alec Mills made his major league debut, they put Tyler Chatwood on the DL. They brought Mills up to make that start. Not only did he get his first major league start, but he got his first major league base hit in that ball game. And he gets another one right here. Did you see him look to left field and hit the ball to right?
That's the no-look pass, right?
Yeah.
That's how you really fool the defense.
Well, we are at the beginning of football season.
That's right. All right, runners on the corners. 1 out. Now Moore, the batter, he is 0 for 3. He is fly to center, grounded to third, and struck out.
Where Romano throwing hard, 97 and then 96. Big over the top, sinking fastball.
Jam shot pop up for the second out of the inning. And 1 more to go with Castellanos coming up.
You know, the biggest adjustment that a player like Romano has to make after spending the entire year there in 2018 with the big league club, had 25 starts, is mental. I mean, you're in the big leagues in 2017. You're penciled in as a starter in 2018. You go 8-11, not all that bad. Then you come into 2019 and you don't make the ball club. You're down in AAA, and now, you know, a cold splash of reality in your face. What do I have to do to get back in the big leagues? That's why AAA is a very difficult level for managers to manage down there, because you've got a third of the team down there believes that they should be in the big leagues still. You got a third of the team that are just hanging on and trying to keep their careers alive. They've probably been up and down. And then you've got a third that are kind of on the way up and they still have got a good attitude. And Romano had to be in one of those that said, you know, I've got to figure out a way to get back up here. No one's going to feel sorry for me because I've lost my big league job. That's just the way it is.
Sure.
That's why you go down the back fields in spring training and there are 4 or 5 fields filled with players that all want your job.
One and one on Castellanos. And a nice recovery there by Romano. Very nicely done. Get ready for Reds action 30 minutes before the start of every game on Fox Sports Ohio. We call it Reds Live, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Afternoon till tomorrow, so Reds Live gets underway at 12:30. And yes, the Reds' #1 starter against the Cubs' #1 starter. And that would be Luis Castillo against John Lester.
Yeah, but I think, Tom, if you want, you know, this is a game, baseball is a game of what have you done for me lately? And both of these starters are trending in different directions. Castillo throwing the ball as well as he has in his entire career, and Lester coming off one of the worst starts that he's ever had in his major league career. Of course, a pro like Lester, you know, you fix it and you get right back to business.
Right.
So I'm more inclined to say for Lester, it's a little bump in the road rather than a trend.
No doubt.
But the win tonight, you know, for the Reds will certainly make tomorrow a very important game for the Cubs.
And for the Reds.
And for the Reds, too. But, I mean, if you believe in momentum, it is certainly on the side of the Reds right now.
Line drive out off the bat of Winker to begin the inning. Brewers are winning their game tonight. And the Cardinals are beating the Pirates 3-1. Of wild card interest, the Mets in the 9th inning lead the Washington Nationals 4-3. If the Mets win that game, and there are a lot of other moving parts and all this kind of thing, but if the Mets win that game, they will leapfrog into the wild card lead. The New York Mets. They will have won their 21st game of the last 27 they have played. And there's the first major league hit by Brian O'Grady. A liner into left field against the shift. So there's a lot to be excited about at the old ballpark tonight. Yes, indeed. Brian O'Grady officially welcome to the Major League Baseball registrar, if you will, for base hits. And if you missed it earlier, Chris was talking about his family was here the other night when he made his major league debut. But Chris, you said they had to go back for a surprise party back to Philadelphia tonight.
I believe it was for his sister, and they're celebrating multiple reasons there in Philadelphia tonight.
Yep.
Great young man, Brian O'Grady. Has had a chance to visit with him a little bit more before the game today.
Just short of 40,000 in attendance here tonight, and boy, the Reds have put on a show. 10 runs, 16 hits. Aquino's hit 3 home runs. Sonny Gray 6 shutout innings. Jam shot roller to the right side, and they get the force out for the second out of the inning. All right, so you got Van Meter coming up now, and then Aquino in the on-deck circle. So we know Aquino's going to get one more AB here tonight, but right now all eyes on O'Grady. High fives, up and down, hugs. First major league hit. Congratulations, young man. Manager waiting for him all the way at the end. Hitting coach Turner Ward down there. I mean, there is no one leaving their seat right now. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, they want to see that kid get one more crack at it. The only time we've ever seen a player hit 4 home runs in a game by a Cincinnati Red is when we saw it from Scooter Gennett here on a June night against the St. Louis Cardinals. In the air to left field, and that's over the head of the left fielder. And they're going to hold the runner at third base. So here we go. Here we go. A double by Van Meter. And now Aquino. Now, the last time he faced Alec Mills threw him 4 straight breaking balls, none of which came within a foot of the strike zone. You got to throw him a strike here, don't you?
I don't know. I mean, I would think you would, but you do have first base open.
All right, here is Aquino. Fastball. At least it was a fastball. Ball 1.
But not hittable. So really what difference is it?
You're right.
I mean, really,
Just looks
if
better.
you're Alec Mills, wouldn't you think, what are the odds of this kid hitting his 4th home run?
Right.
It would never happen. I'm going to groove one for him.
Well, there's a bender that snaps in there. One and one on Aquino. Big swing and a miss. Off speed there from Mills. Aristides Aquino. A 3-homer night. Does he have a 4th in him? Out of there swinging to retire the side. All right.
Trading.
Hey, get him out of here. Well, now dance your way into Great American Ballpark. Celebrate Grateful Dead Night. Got a special ticket package presented by Cincinnati Bell. You get an exclusive Dancing Bear bobblehead, a ticket to the game. We have the fireworks show to a Grateful Dead themed soundtrack. Reds.com/themes. Well, Aquino got one more shot at it and struck out. Straight up in the air. You have very upset when that ball left the bat. Nothing in one on Caratini. We're in the 8th inning, and Romano on in relief, trying to keep the shutout intact. Sonny Gray able to cover the front 6 innings of this one. And a really good job by Romano after the Cubs put runners at 1st and 3rd. In the 7th inning, you got a pop up and then a ground ball to get out of the inning.
But a big game like this, at least a big offensive game for the Reds, and the 10-0 lead gives Romano a chance to come in here and pitch. Don't know how long he's going to be up here with the ball club. Jared Hughes is serving his last game of a 3-game suspension tonight. Reds will need a roster move to get him back active again. And you know, you come up to from the minor leagues, you know, yes, it's great to be up here, but you also want to play. And when you play, you want to play well.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if he might get a shot for a 3-inning save tonight.
I like that idea.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like you said, he's been working his way back in the starting rotation again, so he's throwing very hard.
Yeah.
He's a big, strong, powerful young man. I mean, Reds have a lot of big bodies on this pitching staff and up and down the minor league. This guy's the biggest of them all. He is an animal. And that strike 3 called at 97 miles per hour. That's big time pitch.
You know, I've got to correct myself, Tom, something I said about the roster spots and Romano. Romano didn't come up when Hughes was put on the suspension list. He came up when David Hernandez was released. Right. So Reds are playing actually short. That's why they stagger all the suspensions. They don't have them all at one time and so on. But he's throwing the ball well.
Yes, he is. And a fly ball to right field will bounce up against the wall off the bat of Tony Kemp. Here comes that arm. And Kemp runs very, very well. We had the timing on that throw made by Aquino the other night at over 100 miles per hour from right field when he threw out a runner at second base, Castellanos. Right now, Lucroy. He is 0 for 2, has drawn a walk. Line drive, inning over.
Baseball on Fox Sports Ohio brought to you by Toyota. For all your Toyota offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by First Financial Bank, we put your success first. Learn more at bankatfirst.com. Member FDIC. Come check out the completely renovated Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, including the interactive Fox Sports Ohio studio desk within the Marty and Joe broadcasting exhibit. It's 12 and under, as well as veterans and active military receive free admission. A eventful night here at the yard. Lots has happened, including seeing the total package as far as bachelors go.
That was
that may have been one of Jim Day's best interviews.
There's no doubt.
Right there. In fact, maybe Jim Day has found another subject for his podcast. What do you think? Jeremy, the package.
You, that guy, I mean, I love the guy's enthusiasm, and maybe the single greatest sentence uttered at Fox Sports Ohio during this entire baseball season. I mean, just look at me. I'm the entire package. Doesn't get any better than that. Foul out of play by Senzel. Mills still out there on the mound for Chicago. StatCast AI powered by AWS. Senzel had a home run tonight. We talked so much about Aquino, but this was back in the second inning. His second longest home run of his short major league career, and that gives him 9 major league home runs now. And a bouncer down to first, and the first out of the inning.
And I said that birthday wishes tonight to a huge Reds fan. She grew up and lived in Lexington, Kentucky her entire life, and now lives in Covington. Virginia Witt, who turns 89 years young today. Happy birthday, Virginia.
Happy birthday indeed.
Your grandson Mickey Willard is on the case. Wishes you a happy birthday as well. She's enjoying tonight, I guarantee it.
Oh, there's no doubt. Pulled down to first once more, and it's back-to-back groundouts in the Cincinnati 8th inning. I don't think there's any action down in the Reds bullpen right now, so it looks as though Romano is going to have a chance for a save. Yeah, he has a helmet on and a bat in hand. His spot is due up next. And that one will fall in. And how about Peraza?
Having a good night at the plate. You know, he has been coming on lately, and why not get into the hit parade? Everybody else seems to be catching fire a little bit. It's so contagious. And boy, if this ball club can kind of keep this offensive energy going, get production out of the bottom of the lineup where you have Jose Peraza and Tucker Barnhart hitting. Barnhart a couple of hits and a walk. Peraza 3 hits now and a walk.
Mills has thrown 60 pitches. They just brought him back up yesterday when they had to place the reliever we saw here on Thursday, Kyle Ryan, on the bereavement list. So Mills has done an admirable job here coming on in relief. His 4 innings of work, or nearly 4 innings of work, he's only given up 1 run. So he's done a good job.
Yeah, he has.
Young man we mentioned earlier from Tennessee. And I'm sure that Joe Madden will certainly give him a big hug and a pat on the back for chewing up 4 innings of this game after his starter got through a grand total of 2 2/3.
Yeah, one of the rare times really that you do need a mop-up pitcher on your ball club. There used to be one guy that would be designated to do this. Today's game, not nearly as much.
Two and two on Romano. Jeff McCorrell will be making his way into the celebratory side of the field after the game tonight with an interview. Swing and a miss by Romano, and that's 3 outs away now. 1 hit, 1 left. Romano trying to nail it down on the mound and pick up his first save. Cardinals, that'll be the next big 4-game series here at Great American Ballpark beginning on Thursday night. And why not take advantage of the 4 for $48 ticket deal? 4 view level tickets. You get 4 Reds hats for a total of $48. Visit Reds.com/4448. The number 4, the word FOR, 48. Reds Live, the postgame be rocking and rolling down there tonight for Jim Day. Brought to you by Performance Kings Honda. Jim making his way downstairs where his people will be down there waiting on him. They missed him the first 2 games of this series. Saw that same lady. She goes by the nickname just Grandma. Everybody who meets her, they call her Grandma, from right around Lexington. She's going to be down there tonight, dialed in. Excited to see her.
Probably Jim Day's biggest fan.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, they're starting to now filter in, but they want to see the final 3 outs potentially of a Reds shutout. Look at everybody out there. Where's the main man? Where's Joel? I didn't see him out there. He just standing there. Oh, there he is. Joel, wave, my man. Somebody, Joel. He's supposed to have a headset on. He does what a lot of people do. He's turning me off. There he is. There, the big fella. He is the Condominium Association president, right? You know, I misspoke going to break about Romano. This would actually be his second 3-inning save of this year. Remember, he did it against Milwaukee in a 14-6 win already this year. That came back on the 23rd of July and then was sent back to the minor leagues and now back up again. In that magical 1999 season that ended in a 1-game playoff loss to the New York Mets, the Reds that year had 3 pitchers that had a combined 7 3-inning saves. Scott Williamson had 3 of them. Ron Vallone had 2. Stan Belinda had 2. And now you're trying to see one pitcher for the Reds get 2 in 1 year. Straightaway center field, hit a ton by Schwarber, and the shutout bid by the board. Schwarber a 2-hit night, and that's his 27th home run of the year. So the kid from Cincinnati, actually Middletown, just north of Cincinnati. Take a look at this. Most home runs ever by an Ohio native. Michael Jack, the pride of Ohio University. Jimmy the Toy Cannon Wynn. How about those names? And really all of those guys. Schmidt was from Dayton, right?
Indeed.
Jimmy Wynn's from Cincinnati. Schwarber from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Oliver from down the trail near Portsmouth, right?
Indeed.
And then David Justice, technically right across the river. Went to school at Covington Latin, but lived over here on the Ohio side. Started a pretty good team with those 5 guys.
You're not kidding about that. I never thought of it that way.
I've often thought of just some of the kind of team you would put together if you just put together a team of Cincinnati players all time. Guys like Parker, Chris Welsh, Larkin, Ken Griffey Jr., Buddy Bell, Jimmy Wynn. I mean, they're a whole pot. Pete Rose, needless to duh. Thank you. That one served into right field, a hit by Bodie.
And how about Joe Madden allowing Alec Mills to hit?
Well, he had a base hit his last time.
Yeah,
that's better than most of the guys they've sent up there tonight. Cubs only have a total of 7 hits. And only 2 of those came against the starter, Sonny Gray. Strike 1. Two and one on Mills. Bouncing ball right side. They'll get the second or the first out of this 9th inning after the home run and a single. So 1 away in the Chicago 9th. Another rookie tonight, Yordan Alvarez of the Houston Astros, has hit 3 home runs. They have scored 23 runs in their game tonight.
Oh, my.
23. The Mets, by the way, held off the Nationals 4-3 final. Cardinals over the Pirates 3-1 final. And the Brewers lead the Rangers in the top of the 9th inning 3-2. So the Brewers would move into the 2nd slot along with the New York Mets and the Cardinals. I didn't see what Philadelphia did today. They lost. So you'd have a 3-way tie for the wild card lead with the Mets, the Cardinals, and the Brewers. The Brewers would be the leader a half game ahead of the others, if I have that figured right. I mean, there are so many moving parts trying to figure out the wild card. Going into the game, you had the Nationals and the Brewers tied. And then you had a half game back St. Louis, New York, and Philadelphia, with Arizona 1.5 back. Well, we're going to try to figure all this out because it's worth starting to take a look at now. I mean, look, I know there are a lot of teams in front of the Reds, but, you know, this was before play today. Well, we're up to date now.
So this is after the games that have been played tonight that are already in.
Yeah. And Milwaukee's not done yet. So that's why we say they would move ahead of those other teams that have already won tonight, that on that standings list would have them tied. Bottom line is the Reds would move to within, what, 4 games of the wild card lead. Yes, a number of teams between the Reds and the top 2 spots, but 4 games is 4 games. And a ground ball down to third. What a night here in Cincinnati.
Well done.
Well done indeed. They lose the first game of this series to the Cubs, and then they come right back and take it to them. A 10-1 rout. Romano, the save, his 2nd of the year. Gives up 1 run in 3 innings, and Sonny Gray shuts him out over 6. And the Reds now go to 9-6. Against Chicago. That's the most wins for the Reds since going back to 2014, when the pendulum really swung the other way. Reds have dominated them forever. Then the Cubs have owned the Reds since 14. It's good stuff.
Certainly the fear factor is completely gone right now, but the enthusiasm and the infusion of the youth on this ball club has really made a difference. I mean, if it wasn't for the hot start of Aquino, people would still be talking about Yasiel Puig, but we haven't even heard his name really around the club. Everybody's talking about Aristides. You've got some young guys that have come up here and really contributed. The offense is rolling along. And by the way, you've got 1 game left with the Cubs with Luis Castillo on the mound tomorrow.
Yes, we do. We'll be back with more in a moment.